Good morning, ladies. How are you this morning? This is Cheryl here, and I am going to talk about altered flashcards. And I don't know, maybe all of you know everything, but maybe you don't. These are some that I have done in vintage style and even vintage Christmas. And I love the Christmas one. It's like my favorite one. So basically what I'm going to do here today is just show you how I make these. I did not come up with this idea myself. I watched it on a video at some point. But you know, until recently, I've never really done a lot of altering of guest checks or flashcards or anything like that. I've done a few. I love bingo cards. I've done those, and but I'm starting to get other ideas by watching other people, or and how they do it, and on video. And I always forget who I watch, just about always, because I watch so many. But anyway, these are done with a fabric base, okay, and then we build from there. And I have sewn around them in some cases, and then in other cases, it's just glued. This one is sewn. These two vintage ones are sewn. And you can still write on them, and, whatever. So here we go. Let's do one. All right, I'm going to lay these up out of the way. And I have here a flashcard. And my flashcards are only shiny on one side, and the back side is not shiny. Doesn't matter which side you use, but if you're not going to sew, and you have a shiny card, you should be sewing around the edge, at least of the base. Once you get the base fabric on here, you should sew it. If you don't sew, you could take clear gesso or white gesso and put some on there, especially where you're going to rumple it. And then it'll help the glue make the fabric adhere. Otherwise, it may come undone on the shiny surface, even with hot glue or fabric tack. It could. So, to not take any chance, if you have a side that's not shiny, use that side. I'm going to sew on it. So, I'm probably going to, it doesn't matter which side I use, but just for the sake of not sewing on camera. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna use the shiny side, and I'm gonna sew on it, and I'm just gonna show you how that looks. But anyway, what I start with, I have this really thin piece of muslin fabric, and it's bigger than the card itself. In fact, it's way bigger than the card. So I'm going to, you want it to be bigger all the way around. This is too long. So I'm just going to tear off a piece and save this for in my scrapbooks. So you start with, you bring out your snippet pieces of lace and different things that you collect, and even some of these little pieces, I throw in there because when you're layering, you can use all these little pieces sometimes. So anyway, I have this cut. Now this piece of fabric doesn't have to be muslin. It can be a bed sheet. It can be, a piece of a tablecloth, a table runner, any old fabric, a hanky, anything that you have that, you can use as your base. Because this is kind of a shabby chic kind of project. So we're going to put it on there evenly. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it first. Because I need the glue all the way around it and even in the center so that I can scrunch it. So let's do that. So I'm going to put the glue on here all the way around on the edge, and then a little bit, just scribble it through the center. Okay, and then I'm going to lay this on here as evenly as I can. Just drop it on there lightly. Get it on there. Ugh. Of course it's going to do this while I'm on camera. Okay, and then I'm just going to start scrunching because I want folds in it. I want it to have folds all the way around. I don't want it to be, you know, I'm going to fold it in and make it look scrunchy and ruffled and folded. Doesn't matter what the middle looks like because you're going to cover it, you know. So I'm scrunching this in here. And it's going to dry pretty quickly because I didn't glob the glue in there. You know, I don't have to use as much glue if I'm going to sew. And even if I don't sew, if my card is not shiny, then, I mean, you just put a little glue on there. Fabri-Tac is a strong glue, or hot glue. And I'm making the ruffles. I want it to be ruffled and folded kind of around the edges. I want it to have this certain look. So that's what I'm doing. Making it have that look. That shabby chic look. And I'm actually going to put some on the top here and ruffle this in. Press it in. Because I just want a certain look. Okay. So now we're going to pick out pieces. I'm going to pick out pieces to layer. And as you can see, on most of these pieces, I have a focal point. And on these vintage ones, I just have these two sweet little girls. And they're the focal point. And then I layer around it and underneath it. And I just start building it. And, you know, the secret to good layering and something that you really love is not making everything straight and perfect. If you look at your work and you say, well, it's okay, but mine doesn't look like so-and-so's, you know, or mine doesn't look like what I saw in a picture on Pinterest. The secret to good layering is playing with the angles of everything. And you don't want everything so well thought out, really. It is well thought out, but it's kind of randomly placed and not straight. Some things are at opposite angles. You know, I play with the angles, and if you look, there's not everything perfectly straight. And that's the secret. That's why you love it, because it's not. That's what makes it look and have that look that you want is, and I had to learn that, you know, I didn't need to place everything, you know, perfectly. So that's what you're loving about it, is the randomness, and it makes it look vintage. It makes it look shabby chic. It makes it look like it's something that grandma had on her dresser or in her memory book for a long time, something that she put together or just pinned together, you know, maybe paper clipped it together. And sometimes I even use a paper clip. I've been using those rusty things that I made not long ago. I did all these rusty paper clips and things. So that is the secret. So then the next layer is going to be, I picked out, this is some kind of, I don't even know what this is, but it's kind of shabby looking, and you know, and I'm going to kind of do a little bit of the same thing just around the edges, because in the center, you know, it doesn't matter, but so I'm going to go around here with this glue again, just very lightly in some places, you know. There we go. And then I'm going to lay this down. Oops, I got some or I don't need it. And I'm just going to play around a little. And what I'm trying to achieve is that imperfect, shabby chic look. You know, just, yeah, just a little bit of a rumple here and there, okay? And it doesn't matter that it's not laying down flat and it's not glued in here, because I'm going to put some stuff on there and I'm probably going to sew it. So I'm letting this dry a minute, and while it's drying, I'm thinking about pieces. And let's see here. I have all kinds of pieces. I have laces, and see all these little pieces? I keep all my snippets because you just never know where you can use them. So that is the key. Excuse me, that is the key to these. You need snippet pieces, you know. And so I have them. I don't know, do I like that? I kind of like that piece of lace there. And I actually think that I am going to lift this up and put just a tiny bit, because I have a bubble there. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue right there because it's bugging me. Only because it's bugging me. And I'm going to fix this. My glue doesn't want to come out easily. I don't know what the problem is. Okay. So I'm gonna do it like that. So there we go. Wants to give me a hard time just because I'm on camera, you know. That's the way it goes. So here we go. Ta-da! Okay. There we go. That's good enough. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to sew around it, and just, that's going to help it from coming unglued from this shiny side, since I did not use gesso. So I'm going to stop the camera and I'm going to sew around it, and then I'll be right back. You won't even know I'm gone. Okay, so here we go. I've sewn around it. As you can see, I got off of the card a little, but that's okay. I can either go back and sew this. Actually, I might have to do that. Let me start here. I know I'm on camera and I'm doing this on camera, but let me just do this. And the beauty of this is that you don't have to be perfect. Okay, sorry about that. So there we go. So now I'm going to, I think I'm going to use this piece of lace. I really love it. And do I need it shorter or longer, or what do I need? Gee, I think I want it to this to show on both sides. So I'm going to kind of put it more toward the center. I'm just playing around here now, and I've picked out some pieces while I was, you know. So I have some Christmas ephemera pieces that I think I can use. And I fussy cut this out of a little card. So I thought, look at him. Isn't he dear? And this little Christmas flower kind of stands out. Wait a minute, maybe I better move this over. So I'm just playing now with all the pieces that I have, auditioning and playing with the angles. This says presents, isn't that cute? And I need something here to balance it. So I thought about making a ruffle with this red, but then I think it's a darker red than that. So I looked at this little piece. Look at there. That little piece looks kind of vintagey and just adds that. It's just a little piece of this fabric that at one time I sewed into a ruffle, and now this is a little piece left, a little end piece that, you know, I don't throw anything away. I put it in the little scrap box, and I'm angling everything so that it's not perfect on there. You see what I'm saying? It's not perfect on there. And let's see. I might put a little piece of lace there. That kind of lace. And up here, I pulled out buttons earlier just in case. So what if I were to put little buttons right here? And now when I look at this, the whole thing looks balanced to me. It's not perfectly straight. It's not everything down here and nothing balancing. So I like the way this looks. I don't know if I could use this piece on there or not. Let me see. I wanna, maybe in this corner, maybe I could put a little something, something. See that? Just a little piece of that doily there. This down here. This right here. I'm gonna tilt it. And I like it. I don't know. What do you all think? Wish I could hear you. I don't know. Maybe I got the wrong thing down here though. Let's see. Do I need something like this hanging out? What about over here then? I don't know. Let me see. Maybe this should go over here. And this should go here. And maybe this can slide down. I wish I could hear you. What do y'all think? Now I think it looks kind of fun and, you know, not perfect. Now the key is gluing all of this down. And I usually sew my buttons with thread, but I don't know. Let me see. I've inked everything, I think. I think I do that when I fussy cut. Let me see. I think I'm pretty inked here. All right, so to glue it down, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move these. This is what I do to glue down. I just lift a little bit, and maybe I can use some of these flowers on here to hold the glue. Make the good place a good place to put the glue, you know. And I like to use hot glue sometimes, but Fabri-Tac is really good too. It's like hot glue without the hot. Okay, so I got that down. Everything sticks to your fingernails. And then I'm gonna put the glue here. You know, and I'm just not using an excessive amount of glue. I'm using enough to glue it down, but this is lace, and you're gonna put stuff on top of it, and it doesn't have to be globbed with glue, because then you're gonna get hard, crusty pieces. So, and it's a waste of glue. All right, so, I mean, I want it to be down, but I don't want it globbing everywhere. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to put this right here. So there we go. All right, we're coming right along here. Now, I'm going to put this down. And see how I'm using a card where a lot of it is covered and I only have certain things showing, and it's just the right things, you know, the edge. It's just the right things showing to make it. See, I'm covering up parts of it, but then other parts are showing, and it's so pretty. I love it. So I'm going to put this down. This was, like I said, this was a Santa face that was on like a card that I have, a digital old-fashioned Christmas card. And I messed it up when I printed, or when I cut it, I messed it up. I cut too much off of one edge. So instead of throwing it away, I just fussy cut the Santa face out of there and kept it. And I'm glad I did, because look how perfect it is. And then I'm going to put my ruffle down. Right there. So pretty. See how everything is angled? Different angles. That is what you love about vintage and shabby. And you might be wondering how to get that look. Well, this is it. You just play around with the angles until you get a pleasing, you know, arrangement. I'm just playing around. Okay, so there I am. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love him so much. So now I'm going to put these buttons here. These will be right here, but I'm going to have to do that off of camera. So I'm not going to glue them down. I'm just putting them there so that you can see these 3 little tiny vintage buttons that are going to be there. And this is it. And how shabby chic and Christmassy and vintagey is that? You know, I hope you can see it. Let me hold it up if I can with the buttons on it. So you can actually see, I hope you can see. It's going to be so super cute. And I've used a lot of scrap pieces. Scraps of lace and torn pieces of fabrics. And then just go through your digitals or your, you know, your papers. You could use book pages, music paper. You know, you can use a lot of different things for this. You can do the vintage. I'm trying to lay this down because the buttons aren't on there. I'm going to sew thread in the buttons because I know you can just glue the buttons on and it's okay to do that, but I really love it when I have thread in the buttons as though they're sewn on. It just adds more of a vintage, it's a higher quality look to me. So just like on this one, I have put thread in the button, okay? So I just love these altered flashcards. Like I said, you can do so many different styles. You could do anything that you want. And of course, it's Christmas time. It's getting to be Christmas time. I'm thinking about Christmas. So I'm going to do some of these, you know, because I'm sure people will want to buy them. And so anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any more tutorials or flip throughs that I post here. And I hope you have a crafty, wonderful crafty day. Bye bye now.